Looks like we just reached quorum
We have quorum.
with 5 members on the line.
Clerk of the board, can you do roll call, please?
Yes, certainly. Please state your name for the record. Members from the city of Colton,
Isaac Sucho.
Frank Navarro.
thank you. Members from the city of Loma Linda,
Dusty Rigsby.
thank you. Member from the county of San Bernardino, 4th District. I'm not sure if the supervisor's on. I don't think he is. And then members from the city of San Bernardino on the line.
Theodore Sanchez.
Dessine Richard.
Thank you very much.
Clerk of the board, can you go ahead and start the, to check and see if we have any public comments for our closed session items?
The public was given until 1 p.m. today to email me any comments. I received none, and it does not look like we have any in the audience today.
Thank you. Attorney, can you take us into closed session, please?
Yes, we do.
Can you take us into closed session, or I'll recess the closed session?
Yes, we should recess. the
We have
closed session at
one
this
item,
time.
correct? Okay, we'll take a recess into closed session, then reconvene after closed session. Thank you.
Please stay on the line, and I will allow you into the closed session breakout room momentarily. All right, everybody should be back in the open session meeting. Can you all hear me?
You're good on here on my side.
Great.
Yep,
Great, thank
loud and
you.
clear.
Thank you. And for the record, Supervisor Hagman just joined us.
With everybody back, I'd like to call the order back in session and ask Mr. Burrows to lead us into the pledge, please.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
¿Cuándo puedes? ¿Cuándo quieres que vayamos?
Yes.
Point of order, Mr. Chair, you got to report out of closed session.
Well, city manager, the attorney,
We,
go ahead.
we do not have a report on closed session. I was going to get you right after.
Just for the record, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mayor Navarro.
Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Item number 3 on the agenda, items to be deleted or added, anything?
No item, sir.
Conflict of interest, item number F, any members choose to or desire to declare a conflict? I see no hands. Informational items, number G on the agenda, item number 2, Mr. Burrows.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This will actually be the shortest one of the year. We had fully intended on presenting you our normal highlights for the year, but it's been a busy December for us, so we're still awaiting a little bit of data, and so I'd prefer that we defer that to your January meeting, so you'll have the latest and greatest. So that is my report.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. At this time, I'd like to jump to board action items number 7, adopt resolution of Board of Inland Valley Development Agency in recognition of the services of the San Bernardino County 5th District, City of Loma Linda, City of Colton, and City of San
Mr.
Bernardino representatives.
Mr. Chair, we have to do consent items prior.
What?
Yeah, Mr. Lewin, is it all right if we move 7
We
before?
can take this out of order and go back to the.
I was going to ask the consent of the board if it's okay, and
Yeah.
Yes, that is
I'm
fine.
taking the chair priority to do that.
It's within your discretion, Mr. Chair.
So that being said, without any objections, I'd like to move item number 7 as the next item. Any objections? I see no hands. So with that being said, I'd like to start off with Mr. Councilmember Rigsby. You have a resolution?
Okay, I have the honor and the privilege to help us with adoption of a resolution of the Inland Valley Development Agency in recognition of the services of a representative from the city of Loma Linda, and that person is Ovidiu Popescu. And there are some whereases and a lot of detail, and I think we'll just hit the high points with your permission.
Go ahead.
Whereas Ovidiu Popescu was first elected to serve as city council member for the city of Loma Linda in June 2008, and whereas Ovidiu Popescu, during his tenure on the city council, has represented the city of Loma Linda as a member of the IVDA board since 2008, and served as its co-chair from 2014 to 2020, and whereas Ovidiu Popescu has been actively involved in directing the issues of military base reuse and revitalization activities impacting the former Norton Air Force Base and the region. During his tenure on the IVDA board, he has invested substantial time and effort to assist in the economic development achievements of the Inland Valley Development Agency for the benefit of the city of Loma Linda and the entire surrounding region, while ensuring the preservation of the rich heritage that has established, held, and advanced the progress of Norton Air Force Base today and beyond. And whereas he has been instrumental in garnering and focusing economic, fiscal, business, community input, and interest throughout his service while enhancing a public-private partnership with Hillwood Development, and has brought a multitude of Fortune 50, 100, and 500 companies, as well as other nationally recognized firms, and most recently, the Amazon Air Regional Air Hub to the former Norton Air Force Base. He constantly strives to increase employment opportunities in the region as he exercises practice, devotion, and leadership in all matters. These efforts have brought substantial investment in buildings and improvement to the former military base. He was instrumental in developing policies leading to an excess of $1.7 billion of private investment to the area, an issue of $240 million of tax allocation refunding bonds. He has tirelessly represented the interests of citizens, taxpayers, companies, and agencies in the region, and has had the vision to foresee the development and economic potential of the airport. Through his thoughtful and collaborative leadership, Mr. Popescu has helped the Joint Powers Authority to achieve fiscal and operational success, and has enriched our community greatly. Now, therefore, be it resolved today that the Inland Valley Development Agency joins with friends, family, and colleagues in commending Ovidiu Popescu for tireless efforts and dedication to this region and the goals of the board, and bringing to reality the successful conversion of the Norton Air Force Base to civilian reuse as planned in the initial gift of the base to our community by the federal government. Be it further resolved that this resolution be noted in the official minutes, and we appreciate Mr. Popescu by presenting it to him for his exemplary public service, passed, approved, and adopted today. Thank you for your service to this board. Please come and accept your resolution. Is it on?
We need to hear your voice.
It's okay, that's the only people who really need to hear is you, and you can hear me, so.
No, we got you now.
The folks, you can hear me now, fine?
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to come before you and receive this acknowledgement. It's been a fun, enjoyable time, the time that I've spent here. I've learned a lot, made great friends. It's been a great deal of satisfaction to see this airport come from literally doing absolutely nothing to now we can't keep up with the growth. And that's not because of necessarily my efforts, but it was a group effort of a lot of individuals, many, many people. There were board members before me that did a lot of heavy lifting of getting the initial funding from the federal government and putting together the whole IVDA. So there were a lot of executive directors who absolutely, Mike's been here since that whole time. Mark's been here, and they're the two lasting folks that have actually been part of the staff, so they have a lot of recognition for the work they've provided. It's exciting to see where the airport is now. I'm excited to see where it's going. I think it has a lot more to offer, and I'm enjoying my retirement. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Rigsby. I have the pleasure now of presenting the next resolution to Councilmember Jack Woods. Was first elected to serve council member for the city of Colton back in December of 2016. Jack Woods, during that tenure in city council, has represented the city of Colton as an alternate member of the Inland Valley Development Agency board since 2017. And Jack Woods has also been actively involved in directing the issues of military base reuse, revitalization activities impacting the former Norton Air Force Base and the region during his tenure on the Inland Valley Development Agency board. Mr. Woods, Councilmember Woods, has invested substantial time and effort to assist in economic development achievements of the Inland Valley Development Agency for the benefit of the city of Colton and the surrounding region, while ensuring the preservation of rich heritage that has established, held, and advanced the progress of Norton Air Force Base today and beyond. Now there be it for resolved this 9th day of December 2020, the Inland Valley Redevelopment Agency, no, I'm going old school here, Valley Development Agency hereby join the friends, family, and colleagues in commending Jack Woods for his tireless efforts and dedication to this region and the goals of the board, and to bring into reality that successful conversion of the former Norton Air Force Base to civilian reuse. That is the resolution being noted in the official minutes of the Inland Valley Development Agency and presented to Jack Woods in appreciation for his exemplary public service. Thank you, Councilmember Woods. You will always be a Councilmember Woods, okay? You come up here and receive your certificate.
I just want to say this is not a one-man or one-person organization. It takes many people to make this Inland Valley Development Agency work. Being an almost 8-year veteran of the United States Air Force, I'm very pleased to have been able to take part in the reversion, turning this base back to civilian use. I think we've done a great job, put several thousand people to work. I appreciate all your work. Appreciate knowing all of you, and I hope to see you more at another time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Woods. My next one was resolution for Basine Richard. Was first elected to serve the council for the city of San Bernardino in February of 2016. Basine Richard, during her tenure at the city council, has represented the city of San Bernardino as a member of the Inland Valley Development Agency since 2019. Councilmember Richard has been actively involved in directing and issuing issues of military base reuse and revitalization activities impacting the former Norton Air Force Base and the region during her tenure on the Inland Valley Development Agency Board. Councilmember Richard has invested substantial time and effort to assist in economic development achievements of the Inland Valley Development Agency for the benefit of the city of San Bernardino and the surrounding region, while ensuring the preservation of the rich heritage and the established, held, and advanced of the progress of the Norton Air Force Base today and beyond. Therefore, now it be resolved, this 9th day of December 2020, Inland Valley Development Agency join with friends, family, and colleagues in commending Councilmember Richard for her tireless efforts and dedication to this region and goals of the board. And during this the successful conversion of the Norton Air Force Base to civilian use. That is the resolution noted in the official minutes of the Board of Inland Valley Development Agency and presented to Councilmember Richard in appreciation of her exemplary public service. I will forward this to your city and hopefully we'll get it to you. Do you have any comments, Councilmember?
Yes, I just want to say thank you, and apologize for not being present. You know, with the state of our country today, our world today, you know, I'm being very cautious. But I want to say this is not goodbye. This is I'll see you later. You know, I am so proud to have been able to serve on a board that changed people's lives. And I have a warm heart for Norton Air Force Base, of course, because I was born at Norton Air Force Base. And to be a part of turning it around has truly been an honor, and I want to continue to see it grow. And with workforce, we hope to continue to do that and to continue to work with the airport and make it successful. To all of you board members, you know, thank you for teaching me a lot, because when I came into this seat, I didn't know a lot about the airport and I learned a lot. So I thank you all. To Mike Burrows, thank you for all of your kindness, and your staff. Everybody, thank you. And again, see you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Richard. And my final resolution is to Supervisor Gonzalez. Was first elected to serve the 5th District of San Bernardino County in 2004 to represent the cities of Colton, Fontana, Rialto, San Bernardino, and the unincorporated communities of Bloomington, El Rancho Verde, Glen Helen, Arrowhead Farms, Muscoy, Little Third, and Racina Ranch. Supervisor Gonzalez was reelected to serve a second term in 2008, third term in 2012, and the fourth and final term in 2016. Supervisor Gonzalez has been actively involved in directing the issues of the military base reuse and revitalization activities impacting the former Norton Air Force Base and the region during her tenure on Inland Valley Development Board. Supervisor Gonzalez has invested substantial time, effort to assist in economic development achievement, plural, of the Inland Valley Development Agency for the benefit of the County of San Bernardino, while ensuring the preservation of the rich heritage and the established, held, and advance the progress of Norton Air Force Base today and beyond. Therefore, be it resolved on the 9th day of December 2020, the Inland Valley Development Agency hereby join with friends, family, colleagues in commending Supervisor Gonzalez for her tireless efforts and dedication in this region and the goals of the board, and to bring the reality that successful conversion of the former Norton Air Force Base to civilian reuse. That is this resolution to be noted, official minutes of the Inland Valley Development Agency, and presented to Supervisor Gonzalez in appreciation for her exemplary public service. And Mike, you will probably get this to her office?
Yes, absolutely, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Mike, do you want to make any comments to our?
Yes, please. On behalf of your staff, I get to say this a couple of times this year, and it's a bit bittersweet, but it's true. As your staff, as accomplished leaders in your own right, you are a pleasure to work for, and we learn a lot from you as well. And just really can't thank you enough for your dedication and support, the entire board, and particularly the amazing individuals we just recognized. I've learned a lot from you, and we need extra eyes as your staff. We know some things, but we don't know everything, and you all were very, very instrumental in making sure we're steering the ship in the right way. Ovi, you saw it as a co-chair for quite some time, and we had to go in the right direction and stay there, and you helped us stay on course and really continue to work the work that is important to you. And so really, from a personal note, thank you for your friendship to not just the IVDA but the airport, but your team here. You've always supported us, and we can't do it without you. So thank you again for your leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Takes us back to the beginning of the agenda. Item number H, board consent items. Number 3, please.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Yes.
This is Frank Navarro. I move the consent calendar items 3 through 6.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second.
I have a first and a second. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
We have a motion by Navarro and a second by Richard. And I will go ahead and call roll. Please state your vote for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Suchil?
Aye.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Hagman?
Hagman, aye.
Thank you. Member Richard?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, board members. Takes us to board action items. First item, number 8. Mr. Cresno.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This item is to receive and file the annual independent financial audit report of the agency for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2020. A recommended action is to receive and file the report, as well as authorize the Director of Finance to submit these reports to the appropriate agencies. With that, we have our audit firm, ED & Payne, and they are represented by Brandon Farrell, who's a senior manager and served as our audit engagement executive this year, and Hong Nguyen, who is a partner and served as the technical and quality assurance reviewer role. And they have a brief presentation where they will present the audit results and the final required communications for this year. And with that, I will pass it to ED & Payne.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Brandon Farrell, the Senior Manager and Client Service Executive for this audit. I want to start off by thanking, on behalf of ED & Payne, Hong, and myself, thanking the board for having us here today. Just want to let you know, the audit went very well. It was a pleasure to work with IVDA's management and staff, and they really teamed well with us in completing the audit this year. If we could go ahead and move to the first slide. There we go. Again, this agenda, the highlights we'll talk about today, the audit report, a couple highlights of, the financial highlights. We'll discuss some internal controls and other matters. And then if you guys have any questions at the end, feel free to ask, and I will answer to the best of my ability. Next slide, please. All right. As far as the audit report, again, IVDA, including the successor agency, received an unmodified audit opinion for the year ended 6/30/2020. So hats off to management and everyone involved. Another clean audit this year. The financial statements, again, based on that unmodified opinion, is the financial statements are presented in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles. Just want to let you know again that the financial statements are the responsibility of management, and the audit was conducted in accordance with government auditing standards. Next slide, please. Just a couple of financial highlights. For the government-wide financial statements, we saw the net position decrease this year by approximately $950,000. And we can see the makeup here is we had under governmental activities, we had revenues and transfers in approximately 5.9 million, with expenses and transfers out about 6.8 to get a net change of $862,000. The business type activities here, you'll see $182,000 revenues and transfers in, with expenses and transfers out of approximately $272,000, where we come to a net decrease in the net position of $90,000. So you'll see here on the side, it totals up to the $952,000 decrease in the net position. Next slide, please. Another part of the financial statements is the fiduciary fund. The fiduciary net position increased approximately $4.7 million. Below that, just kind of like a concise detail of how we got that. We had additions of approximately $17 million with deductions of approximately $12.4 million. You get to the change in net position of the 4.7. Here, this is just a graph that kind of highlights the net position of the fiduciary fund over the last 5 years. Again, as we're paying off the debt here, our net position is increasing. So it started off in 2016, approximately, a negative $222,000, and then we'll see it this year it's below the negative $210 million. So every year we will continue to increase the net position for this fund. Next slide, please. Just some other discussion points in required communications to the board. As far as the audit this year, there were no material weaknesses in internal control, which, hats off to management, Mark, Alka. They're doing a great job over there as far as the books are concerned. No instances of non-compliance, so another good point there. In the current year, there were no new accounting policies adapted this year. We looked at your significant accounting estimates, and all appeared reasonable. The sensitive disclosures, we're required to draw attention to the sensitive or material ones. The ones within the financial statements that we would like to draw attention to would be, one, the debt within the fiduciary fund, and then the note on regarding the ongoing litigation. Again, as I said before, management was nothing but transparent. We had no uncorrected or corrected misstatements this year. So again, no difficulties encountered with management. Next slide. Any questions? And again, this was a very consolidated highlights of the financial statements. If you guys had a chance to look through the full financial statements, I can answer any questions you may have regarding those statements.
Thank you for your presentation. All board members were given a copy of the audit in their agenda packet. Mayor Navarro, any questions?
Just a comment for Brandon. Brandon, receiving an unmodified audit review, that's a pretty high level rating for it, is it not?
It's the best possible one you could receive.
Yeah. So is there something that we can send in that report so that we can get some kind of an award for it? I always want the people. I like for staff to be acknowledged and rewarded for the work that they do, and they do tremendous work.
I'm not totally sure about that. There are a couple ones for getting your audit reports in on time, but nothing that I'm aware of. But and Mark and Alka and the rest of the staff deserve a round of applause very much.
Yeah, they deserve more than a round of applause. So we'll work on something with Mike.
We'll make sure we buy him lunch at least. So.
There you go.
Councilmember Rigsby, you have any questions? Supervisor Hagman?
Sorry, multitasking. Yes. Aye.
Okay. Theodore Sanchez, Councilmember Sanchez, you have any questions for the audit?
No questions.
Councilmember Richard, any questions?
I have no questions, just a comment. I agree that the staff should be recognized for the great work that they do.
Thank you, Councilmember. With that being said, I'll receive and file with any objections. If not, we'll move forward. Number 9, Mr. Kuzno.
Thank you. This item is to increase budget expenditures by $65,000 from $30,000 to $90,000 in this particular line item. It is related to item number 5 on the consent calendar. And it essentially is for the conversion, repair, and other improvements to Building 48 to office security personnel. And the reason we're doing that is to, one, make more room over in airport operations, where we're going to have to bring in some more operations officers to be able to continue to support our increasing activity at the airport. And 2, it will help actually utilize some unused space here in Building 48. And finally, it will also provide a security presence. And Mike, anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, that's it in a nutshell. We didn't contemplate this when we did the budget forecast. It came upon us, and the opportunity arose. So we're bringing it to you now.
Mr. Co-Chair, I move approval of the item.
Second that.
I have a motion to move the item forward. Do I have any questions on this item before I move? None seen.
I'll go ahead and call
Vote,
roll.
please.
Please state your vote for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Suchel?
Aye.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Hagman?
Hagman, aye.
Member Richard?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, board members. Takes us to number 10. Ratify change order number 3 with Griffith Company for additional construction work for the Mountain View Avenue widening and reconstruction project phase 3 for additional amount. I'll leave that amount to the presenter.
Mr. Harris.
Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Did you sharpen your pencil when you came up with that amount?
We did a lot of sharpening to get to that amount.
Thank you.
Again, good afternoon. This project, Mountain View Avenue, we're asking for an additional $1,113,032 and, of course, 1 penny to
Councilmember Rigsby says that can you do away with that 1 cent? Can you eat
Would love
that?
to get away with that.
Thank you.
So.
Sorry.
That's no problem. So what this project is, and we'll go over it again for the members, that the project total, it was 4 phases. First phase was to replace the bridge at the Santa Ana River. That was completed several years ago. Phase 2 and 3 were put together. That's the widening and improvements and repair of the roadway from the Santa Ana River Bridge down to the Mission Creek Bridge. And phase 4 was work at the interchange of Mountain View and the 10 freeway. Now, through the packet, I put in a lot of information and detail about what each and every item is that we're addressing today. But I would like to go to some of the photographs that I included. We can start with page 116. This is the Mission Creek Channel itself during construction. When you look at the excavator and loaders and such, you'll see a lot of rock laying around. What we're doing here is we are armoring the side of the channel around the bridge, 150 feet north and east and about 200 feet west. And what this does is it protects the channel walls and the bottom of the channel from erosion with water that flows through this area in rain events. The work here, you'll see, is quite extensive, but the original plan back in the day was that this bridge was going to be about 50 feet long to replace in kind the old bridge that had been there probably since the 40s, thereabouts.
If not later.
So if we go to the next picture, here we go. You'll see that there's this is one of the new girders. The original plan was to have a box culvert, but because it was required of us to extend this channel to a wider dimension, this bridge was actually doubled in size. And along with that double in size is larger abutments or bridge supports, footings, the roadway itself, lights, electrical, fiber, all the utilities that were going to go under the bridge, under the channel bottom, had to be attached to the bottom of the bridge, which caused the bridge to be 10 girders wide, in other words, 4 lanes, and 100 feet long. So if we go to the next picture, please. Now, this is a wider picture of the bridge in its entirety now that the girders are in place. So as I said, this is twice the size that was originally anticipated. So if you cut it in half visually in your own mind's eye and remove the left half of that bridge, that was originally where the side channel was supposed to be. So we've had to take a lot of extra time in design work and talking with cities, getting their approvals for placement of water lines in the bridge. And that's, I believe there's one more. Now, throughout the document that I gave you, there is a lot of talk about water lines. And these are the 5 water lines that are now going through the bridge. They're primarily, there's 4 water lines for potable water, 1 reclaimed water line. Now, just to the right of that, probably just on the edge of the photo, that is where one of the tracks for the Redlands Light Rail project is going to be located. They haven't placed those tracks yet, but they're going to be placing those in the next month or so. So I can go through the individual items, which is very tedious, but...
I mean, you summed it up.
Okay. Yeah, I summed it up pretty well in the written document. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything that the board members might have.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. And as Micah stated, this was included in our packet. Does anybody have any questions to Mr. Harris? I see no hands raised, so I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Co-Chair, I move approval of the amendment.
And I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Member Rigsby and a second by Member Richard. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Suchil?
Aye.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Hagman?
Hagman, aye.
Member Richard?
Yes.
And Member Sanchez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Takes us to number 11. Mr. Burrows, review status of action plan.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair, and just want to thank Mr. Harris for his diligence. This has been quite an undertaking on the ongoing Mountain View project. There are multiple trades and not a lot of space, and it's a lot of work. So, Jim, thanks for staying the course for us. Appreciate it. So, you are now the recipients of a completed annual audit. Mr. Cousineau, again, hats off. We will buy you lunch. Well done, as always. And what Mr. Cousineau is doing with us right now is just a sort of rearview mirror check on business plan priorities and progress, and that's some of what we will put in front of you at your January meeting, because we do need to check some facts and figures on that one. But so far so good, and hats off to the team for weathering some interesting work conditions. So Ms. Pritchett has been busy, so thank you, Kat. That concludes my report. We'll have an updated 6-month outlook at the January meeting, and want to, on behalf of the staff, wish you all very safe and happy holidays.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Any added or deferred items?
None, sir.
Open session public comment. Do we have any cards for public comment?
Mr. Chair, the public was given until 1 p.m. to submit emails for public comment, and I received none, and there are none here in the audience.
Thank you. Takes me to board comment. Board comments. Any comments from the board?
Yeah, I wish everybody
Okay.
a happy holiday and stay safe and stay healthy, and we'll see you in January.
Councilmember Richard?
Just like to say happy holidays to everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Supervisor Hagman, just a quick question for Mike. If you could give just a vision of maybe what's going on with our drone experiment, our drone program. I know you got off to a great start this year. What's your vision for 2021?
Well, thank you, Supervisor. As you know, because you hear from some folks in this space as well, our partnerships continue to grow. So particularly the Caltech JPL partnership, they are currently in the design phase of a smaller version of a very, very unique heavy lift drone that you got to witness. And they are custom building a unit to actually do some next generation flight tests under the smaller platforms, because it's easier to permit through the FAA. And we actually have been provided additional product demonstrations from U.S. manufacturers who are willing to allow our UAS certified pilots on the airport to actually road test their products as they're beginning to be launched in the market. So we actually intended to have a forecast report at your January meeting, because that's obviously one of the big initiatives we've been building. But keep sending them to us. Your county divisions, County Fire has graduated their first class of 107 pilots right here. The San Mateo County Sheriff has also received some additional training, and we're getting significant interest, particularly in the public safety space, to do more certification. And the training component is one piece, but we're really trying to reposition and ensure that we're actually doing exhibition here. So as we hopefully get out of COVID, to your prior point, Supervisor, I think it is time to even talk about a UAS exposition at the appropriate time. So certainly we'll keep you all apprised in that. And it's one of those things that it's moving so fast that we're having to really chase down everything. But thank you all for your support in this. And if you know of other companies or agencies that have interest in receiving 107 certification, it's really going quite well. So happy to answer questions, but Supervisor, again, so great idea, and it's working so far.
Now, what I'm hoping, Mike, is what we could maybe put together is a grant proposal to the state of California as well. I've been in talks with the governor's office and the California Military Department, and especially with another bad year of fires that we just had, they really want to see this type of technology take off quick, and also with airdrop unmanned vehicles for fires, rapid response, those type of things. So I think we may be able to talk them out of some grant money.
Yeah,
but a good shoe forward is we're the place in the state to do this. And so we can work on that maybe at the beginning of next year.
That would be fantastic. Welcome the opportunity. We have had a few feelers out on the federal space, but state is something we're just getting into. So appreciate any guidance and opportunity on that. Thank you.
The Councilmember Sanchez, any comments?
No. Everything sounds good. Looks like we're chugging along.
Okay, Councilmember Rigsby.
Just happy holidays.
Thank you. I have no comments. With that being said, I'll move for adjournment. Do we need a motion or a second?
No, you just.
The motion is standing up and leaving.
We adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
Bye, everybody.